Greetings. Last August, I bought this group of packages through something that was called BC Stack. I've done that before over the years. I don't do it every year, but every once in a while I've done it. And me and a friend of mine named Mitchell Allen decided, you know what? You can look at 64 packages of programs that will help you to, make money, or how to make good backgrounds, all different kinds of things. And it was 64 of these things for $27. And we decided, you know what, let's go ahead. 27 bucks, not a big deal. So I went ahead and bought my package. And the day I got it, I started going through everything that was on there. And there were only 14 things I decided I wanted to take a look at. And what I did, which was the stupid thing to do, is signed up for all 14 of them. And it didn't cost anything because I paid the $27, and I started getting the emails. Now the thing is, it was August and I had other things going on, and I just didn't have any time to really look at any of that stuff at the time. So we go down months later. As a matter of fact, let's go to earlier this year, when my friend was going through looking some of these things, and he mentioned something to me about this KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. And he said, you should at least look at this one. Just take a quick look. And so I looked at it, and one of the things that it was talking about is creating something that's called no content books. I had no idea what that meant, because I'm trying to think, what the devil's a no content book? Books got words in them, they got pictures, they got all of the kinds of things. Well, it turns out that one of the things you can do is you can create a book that has absolutely no content in it whatsoever. It can just be a whole bunch of blank pages. It can be one of these pages where they have all the dots, which I've never understood. My niece Crystal tried to explain that to me, and I'm just thinking, okay, I just must be too old for that. Or you can have, different images on certain things, but there's no other content. And then you can try to sell this. And the idea is to create a cover that is attractive to the eye, and maybe set it up so that the person who might think about buying it knows the specific audience that it's for and will use it. For instance, I play poker and I play chess. I play chess badly. I'm a little better at poker, but even there, I'm probably a break-even player at the level I play. And the thing is, there's a lot of people who love to document every single move that they did at the table. I've seen this. I used to think that was odd, but there's things that people do. So that was my first thought. And Mitchell decided, I know, I'm Mitch, he's Mitchell, just go with it. Anyway, he had zeroed in on something that he's got a passion about, which is making puzzles. He loves creating puzzles. He loves doing puzzles. And so we started watching some of these videos where these people were talking about how they were able to make all this money and generate all these things. And it's like, wow, that just sounds like a big deal. But both of us have this thing where we say, you know what, we're not going to listen to the first person we watch. We want to see what other people are saying about stuff like this. And when you get into that, you start to realize there's literally tens of thousands of certain types of books, including no content books, where people just throw these things out there. And, it's a whole lot of people you have to get through. And something that I hadn't thought of at the time is that a lot of the covers are the same covers from different people, because people will steal the cover and turn it into their cover. I don't know why Amazon doesn't check that, but they don't. So all this stuff is out there. You can't really protect it. And maybe there are those few people who can make some money off of it, but they're not making a bunch of money off of that. There's people who do other things with this kind of thing, and it's just out there. Then you start to look at certain other things where there's people on there who are saying, you know what, you're wasting your time doing the no content, because there's all these people out there who are doing it and they're stealing your content. And anyone who's telling you they're making $1,000 a month selling no content books is easily lying to you. And when you think about it along that line, it kind of makes sense. There are some people, for instance, who are creating, hundreds of the exact same thing, only with different covers on it. And they put it out there, they get their keywords on there, and, maybe it's possible that there's one or two who have found a way to break through somehow. But overall, for everybody else, it's just not going to work out. And, you know, that's one of those kind of things that everyone always needs to know about almost everything. Is that, you know, whatever it is, it's not going to work for everybody. So you have to kind of look at different things like this. You have to watch people on YouTube, which is the best place to go if you want to see how people are actually doing this kind of thing. You can't just take one person's word for it who tells you how much money they're making. And I can't remember the name of this guy, but Mitchell shared this one with me last week, where there was this guy who basically was saying, he was calling out specific people for videos that he had seen, saying they're all lying to you. It can't be done. He says, I've been doing this for almost 10 years. This is the kind of thing you do where maybe you can make some money, but it's not easy. You have to really dig hard and work hard and figure things out and try to set it up so people don't steal from you. And, you know, you just have to do a whole lot of things. The same thing goes for Etsy, by the way, because at one point I was never going to do an Etsy. Let's just tell the truth. I was never going to do an Etsy. But there were people who were out there talking about making $2,000 to $3,000 a month, every month, on Etsy products for things like stickers and, you know, such like that. But, you know, there's a lot of people selling the exact same thing. It may look a little bit different. It may look the exact same. Everybody can't make the exact same amount of money on that. It just can't be done. You know, you have to be able to look at things more than just that first initial thing, no matter how much it juices you up for you to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. So let me talk about my friend Mitchell again, because one of the things he did is he decided he was going to dig deep. So he did a whole lot of research. He read a bunch of books. He watched a whole bunch of videos, and it turned out to be beneficial for him because he did create this puzzle book. It took him forever to create this. Okay, this is my terminology, but it took him a long time to create it. It's a big, thick book, different kinds of puzzles all over the place. Then he ran into the trouble where he tried to upload it, and Amazon kept rejecting it. They don't tell you the reason they're rejecting it. They just tell you, okay, you got a problem, you got to fix it. But they don't tell you what it is. Turns out there's a bunch of videos from other people who say the exact same thing. And regarding that, they don't all say the same thing on how to fix it, which basically says you have to go through a bunch of videos and watch them all and then try one thing and try to upload it again, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you try the rest of it, then you go to the next person. I know how that is because one of the things that I've griped about in my blog years ago is when you're looking for an answer on how to solve something and everybody seems to be saying the exact thing over and over and it's wrong every single time. And maybe there's this little modification somewhere in there and it's still not working. And you have to be vigilant until you finally find one person who's written something that doesn't match what everyone else says, and you try that one and it works. And yet you put in the exact terminology you needed to fix that on Google in quotation marks, and you don't get what you want, at least initially. All that stuff is irksome. Anyway, Mitchell had to upload his book multiple times. He had to keep doing this testing. He had to try to get the sizes right and whatever. And I'm doing something I don't usually do. I'm going to promote my friend's book. There it is. It works better on this side. Mind-Bending Variety Puzzles. I bought the first book. I'm going to put a link down below if you want to go check it. Look at this thing. I mean, you know, like I said, multiple pages. I think, let's see, what are we up here? It's about 144 pages. And the back pages are the answers. I mean, everything here, they're all puzzles. I've done some of them. I haven't completed one of them just on my own. I got close. The first one I did, I was one thing off. The others, there were 4 things that I couldn't figure out. But that's okay because the idea is that you learn from different things like that. But it took him multiple times. He paid real money to someone to design this cover. You know what? It's hard to find the lighting. Here it is. I mean, look at this cover. This is just magnificent. And it's a big book. And it's around $9.99 plus shipping. You know, that is a book with content. That's the kind of thing that if you're going to create anything, you want to put something into it so that it stands out. No one's going to be able to copy this entire book. They probably can't copy the cover because it's not a simple cover. This isn't anything that you just go to Canva and you throw something on it and say, okay, there's my cover. This is very well done. He went to a professional to do that. Don't get taken by something because it's shiny and you're like, oh my God, I got to do that. Always do your research. Always verify. Check out the good and the bad and see if the good is telling you the truth as far as are there times where things don't work out right, or if they're just telling you, you know what, this is perfect, everyone can do this, and I make all this money. Don't fall for that. But also for the people who are telling you it's bad, listen to the reasons they say it's bad. If the only reason they have to say is, well, I haven't made any money, that's not really enough. You need someone to really guide you. You need to be, well, I used vigilant earlier, I'll go back to that. You need to be aware. You need to always check those things out. Anyway, my name is Mitch Mitchell. You'll see the book in the thumbnail. I hope y'all take care of yourselves and have a good week.